Hey, this video will probably be a very short one because I don't think there's much to talk about, but I've wanted to make this video for a really long time. And because season 3 is probably airing a day after this video is published, I'm making this video now. And with that, let's get right into it. Alright, first of all, One Punch Man was the very first anime I ever watched, unless you count Beyblade Metal Fusion, which I started watching when I was like 4 years old, and watched till probably 10, not gonna lie. I mean, I did take breaks when the TV stopped airing it, but every time it started again, I watched it. I even watched Beyblade... whatever the ones that exploded were called. I think they were called Burst? But yeah, unless you count that, the first anime I ever watched was One Punch Man, and I watched that surprisingly, probably not that long ago. Only about 5 years ago, because I started watching anime in late 2020. According to my anime list account, I started watching in November of 2020. Now I did try to watch My Hero Academia a year before that, but after searching for like 10 minutes for a website, I just gave up and ended there. At a summer job that year, I met a guy that I was working with, and he asked me if I watched anime. I said I wanted to, but I didn't know any websites. He told me some, but I forgot them all before I got home. And I didn't talk to him at all after that, because after the first day, we were assigned to different parts. The reason I wanted to watch My Hero Academia is because I saw so many amazing Deku vs. Overhaul edits, and I was so hyped. But in September of 2020, I met my still best friend, and he had been watching anime for years, specifically Naruto and Shippuden, like 4 times over. And he introduced me to anime. He gave me a website and all hell broke loose. Okay, to be precise, I was at a family gathering with also a couple of neighbors, and with one of the neighbors' girls, we were just laying on the couch bored, so we opened Netflix and scrolled. She offered to watch Death Note, but I said that sounded too violent. Why am I saying this? I'm cringing so hard. And she kept scrolling. Then One Punch Man caught my eye, and I said to watch that. She said... I don't fucking know, but we watched like the first half of episode 1 before my family left and I left with them. But I loved One Punch Man. I'm not actually sure if I left before finishing episode 1, but I know I left soon after. And when I got home, I messaged my best friend and said I watched One Punch Man episode 1. He probably reacted like, "Wow, you're so cool! I wish I could be like you one day." Oh my god. And gave me a website to watch the rest of One Punch Man, and I loved it. I probably binged both of the seasons in like 3 weeks. Remember, this is my first conscious anime. I can't binge that much yet. I remember what I was thinking when I finished season 2. It was something like, anime are weekly, right? Referring to seasonal shows, by the way. I don't mind waiting a few weeks, maybe a month for season 3. Yeah, right, as if I had no idea how the anime industry worked. I mean, I still don't know a lot, but I like to think of myself as a little bit more educated now. But nonetheless, to fill the void of One Punch Man, I decided to watch a new anime. And with TikTok probably spying on us, it knew I was getting into anime, and my feed was full of anime stuff. And then there was a video, which I don't remember anything about, apart from the fact that it showed 4 great anime. I don't remember if it was like 4 anime if you liked One Punch Man or something like that, but it was one of those kinds of videos, and one of those 4 became my favorite anime for a really long time. It was Attack on Titan. I don't remember any of the other 3, apart from one of them that had a lot of black and green in the cover. Yeah, I know that essentially says nothing, but yeah, I began to watch Attack on Titan and I fell in love with anime. I still remember watching Attack on Titan Season 4 Part 1 as it was airing, and how hype it was, because I convinced my best friend to watch Attack on Titan too, and while he didn't love it as much as me, he did really like it. So we were both watching Attack on Titan weekly, and just yapping our asses off about them. Good times, good times. Anyways, because the first 2 anime I watched I just loved, I kept watching more and more. I still remember the first like 10 anime I watched in order. Don't judge me, by the way, please. First was One Punch Man, then Attack on Titan, after that Death Note, Your Lie in April, Darling in the Franxx. Yeah, I did watch it only for 02. What are you gonna do about that? Tokyo Ghoul, Demon Slayer... Yeah, I don't remember after that. Demon Slayer is already on the question mark. Oh yeah, during this time, because my best friend kept pressuring me to watch Naruto, because it was his favorite anime of all time, I did start to watch it. But until the Chunin exams started, I kept dropping it. So by the time I started, it would have been just after Your Lie in April. Also, I remember this distinctly. During the Land of the Waves arc, episode 19 specifically, that was a filler episode. And with less than a full 100 episodes under my belt, probably, I asked my friend, what the hell happened? I watched pure ass just now. And he said, oh yeah, those are called filler episodes. Essentially, when the anime makes episodes on stuff that didn't happen in the manga. Or something like that, and told me I could just skip them. So I fucking did. Alright, those are my early days of anime. But as time went on, I just kept watching. Although anime hype from quarantine went down, I just kept watching. Sure, it was a lot less, especially compared to quarantine. Like, I think the most episodes I've ever watched in a day was probably... Man, I don't even know. But I know I watched like 19 episodes of Darling in the Franxx in a day. I wanted to flex on my best friend that I could watch that much in one day. But now I'd be lucky to watch an episode if I'm not editing in the background. Not counting the past 2 months, I haven't watched anime pretty much for 2 years. Instead, I was mainly reading manga a lot and editing these videos, working really hard on them. But now it's gotten a lot easier, so I can watch anime in the background. For example, recently, I've been watching The Apothecary Diaries Season 2 in the background. Also, episode 11 was so crazy! But speaking of the manga, how did I begin to read manga? It started with me checking out the only really... big bookstore in my country. It only has like 12 locations, by the way. Anyways, I checked because... yeah, actually, what was my mindset back then? I have no idea why, but I checked out in that store's website if they had manga. I checked a few of the anime I'd watched and it had none of them. I was gonna stop, but suddenly I searched Noragami, and there it was. Volumes 9 through 18 probably. I thought to myself, I really liked season 2. I want to keep reading. So it was for 10 euros, contemplated and ended up buying it. And not going to lie, I didn't really like it. I bought volumes 12 through 14 too, and didn't really like any of them. But my mom bought me the first 4 volumes of Devil's Line for my birthday, and I read them all. I might have liked Devil's Line more, but this hobby would have died out right then and there. But then, the Chainsaw Man anime ended, and at a similar time, my last school year at my old school too. So, me and 2 friends, one of them was my best friend, went to that same big bookstore and we just wandered around. Then I saw they had a place for manga on the shelves. I checked it out and saw they had Chainsaw Man Volume 6, which was pretty much where the anime left off. I was about to leave until something caught my eye. It was Kaiju number 8 Volume 1. I recognized the title because of the anime trailer I saw a few days before. I rewatched it on my phone and it looked really good. My friends were starting to get annoyed at me at how long I was taking and just bought both of them. I read Chainsaw Man that same day and I loved it. But Kaiju... I just kept delaying. And only after like 2 weeks after I bought it, I finally read it. And I fell in love with it. I went back that same week to the bookstore and bought volume 2. I read it in a day and then I fell even more in love. Then I went back to the bookstore alone and they didn't have volume 3. So I went back home empty-handed and checked the bookstore's website to buy it online. But they were out of stock. So I stalked the website for about 3 months straight. For 3 times a day at least. During that time, I bought volume 4 to be able to read it as soon as I got volume 3. But soon, I got so annoyed that I just read volume 3 online. I read it in one sitting. I loved it, but a lot less than volume 2. And then, I took up volume 4, and that was it. I had gotten hooked on manga. The Hoshina vs. number 10 fight did something to me, man. I immediately read the rest of the manga online over the course of maybe a week. I loved it. I was at about Hoshino versus number 12. I started looking on Manga Plus for popular manga, and I stumbled across Seraph of the End, Sakamoto Days, and Dandadan. I binged all of Sakamoto Days and Dandadan in maybe a month, while I dropped Seraph of the End at chapter 3. I just didn't really like it, and specifically, I loved Sakamoto Days and Dandadan just a little bit less. Later, I was looking for interesting manga on Manga Plus again, and they were looking all so generic, until I came across a Fateful manga, which changed my life. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you can probably guess it. It's Mama Yuyu, an axed weekly Shonen Jump manga, which when I started reading had about 6 chapters, and when I caught up, I was dying to read more chapters. The reason I call it Fateful is because it's the first manga for which I made a video for. Before that, on this channel, not counting the few random videos I unlisted, I'd only made a Titanfall 3 rant video, and so I just kept making videos. And here we are now. I skipped a lot for manga because I honestly just didn't really want to get into another rant. But if you want to see everything I've watched and read between One Punch Man seasons 2 and 3, here you go. Okay, this isn't 100% accurate because on my anime list, there isn't an option to not count filler episodes for anime, like Naruto and Bleach, or only to count volume once for manga. But this is still like 98% accurate. All this between the time I finished the 2nd season of One Punch Man to when the season 3 is finally starting. And that's not even including everything I've made on this channel. It's been a long ride. Alright, that's for this video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to hear me reminiscing again, like in this video, where I kind of skipped a lot of manga talk, in this Kaiju number 8 video, I talked a lot more about my early days of manga reading and collecting, which you can see on screen now. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed and I hope to see you next time. See ya!